Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the exact anatomy of a perfect academic image reference so you literally never lose precious marks on your assignments again. You know, whether you're a seasoned researcher or you're just tackling your very first major paper, navigating the rules of referencing visual material can honestly feel like trying to decipher some ancient code. But don't worry, today we are going to make it incredibly straightforward. Okay, so let's dive into this super relatable scenario. It's late, you're putting the finishing touches on your project, and bam, you find the absolute perfect visual to drive your argument home. It's striking, it's relevant, and it elevates your whole paper. But right after that little moment of triumph, here comes that looming sense of dread over how to properly credit it. Because, let's be real, you know you can't just drop a JPEG into a Word document and call it a day, right? So how do you actually build the citation?
That brings us to Section 1, the core image elements. Let's take a look at the true anatomy of a reference.
Think of a standard citation, kind of like baking a cake. To get it right, you need the perfect recipe. First up, you absolutely must identify the creator of the image. Then, you need the year it was made, followed by the title. After that, what's the medium or image type? Like, is it a photograph, a painting, a digital illustration? Next, pinpoint the collection or hosting site, the physical or digital location, the URL if you found it online, and finally, your specific access date. That last one is especially crucial for web-hosted images since they can change or just disappear into the digital void. If you hit every single item on this list, your citation foundation is going to be rock solid. But wait, what if your perfect historical photograph or obscure chart doesn't actually have a formal name? Well, don't panic if the artwork is completely untitled. The official rules are actually pretty pragmatic here. They really aren't just there to punish the writer. They allow you to step in and write a concise description of what the image depicts instead of a formal title. Just tell the reader what they're looking at, clearly and briefly, and you satisfy this requirement perfectly. Easy, right? Moving right along to Section 2, citing secondary sources, also known as the nested image. Think of this one like a Russian nesting doll scenario. Say you aren't looking at the original painting in a museum, but rather you're looking at a photograph of that painting printed inside a textbook. So how do you handle it? Well, step 1. You first cite the outer shell. You've got to cite the actual source through which you access the image, the physical book or the article you're currently holding or clicking on. Then, step 2. You acknowledge the original creator hidden inside, assuming your specific style guide requires it. You're essentially leaving a breadcrumb trail that shows your professor exactly how you found the image while still giving the original artist their due credit. Next up is Section 3, formatting figure captions as visual labels. A simple caption underneath your image isn't just some basic label. Actually, it's an active academic anchor. According to the source material, a figure caption placed directly in your assignment might actually require a short citation right there on the page, plus a full reference listed at the very end in your bibliography. It basically ties the visual experience of reading your paper directly to that rigorous academic framework at the back of your document.
Now, let's hit a major plot twist in Section 4, copyright laws and why copyright is absolutely not the same as referencing.
Slowing down for a second here, because this trips up so many people. It is absolutely vital to understand that legally securing copyright permission is entirely separate from the academic act of referencing. Referencing protects you from plagiarism and shows your research trail, right? It's an academic requirement. Copyright permission, on the flip side, is a strict legal requirement about whether you actually have the right to reproduce and distribute someone else's intellectual property. You can perfectly reference an image in your bibliography and still totally be in violation of copyright law if you publish it without permission. They are two completely different rulebooks, and a perfect citation doesn't magically grant you legal copyright usage.
Which brings us to some good news in Section 5, generating references safely and the text shortcut.
Look, we live in a digital age, and yes, there is an awesome technological shortcut mentioned in the source material. If you're using Harvard style, the Harvard Reference Generator website can automate the process and instantly generate your image reference. It's a fantastic tool that can save you a massive amount of time, formatting all those tricky commas and italics instantly so you don't have to sweat doing it by hand.
However, and this is a big however, you can't just copy-paste and walk away. The machine isn't flawless, guys. Algorithms can super easily confuse a website publisher with the actual creator of the image. The source material explicitly warns that you must always act as the final human verification. It is entirely on you to confirm that the generator correctly identified the creator, the original work date, and the actual source of the version you used. An automated tool is really only as good as the data it pulls, and in the academic world, the final responsibility for accuracy always rests squarely on your shoulders, not the software's.
As we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one final question to ask yourself. Are you truly giving credit where credit is due? You know, proper referencing isn't just some chore to avoid penalties on a grading rubric. It's really about respecting the invisible web of creators whose work builds your arguments. So, the next time you paste a powerful image into your paper, ask yourself, who is the artist you're bringing into your conversation, and are you honoring their contribution? Thanks so much for joining me, and happy researching.